Sometimes I don't like Monster of the Week episodes, or filler episodes, whatever you want to call them. But this was not one of those times. Let me tell you. Here's why. I'm usually so invested in the main plot of the season that seeing a filler episode while the show is airing makes me more nervous and more excited for the next episode. So I think that this episode was great. It felt like an old school filler episode, but with a Halloween twist that I loved. And we got a nice ass brotherly moment at the end, so I'm very satisfied. Also, we got Dean nerding out this entire episode and Sam playing with explosives, and just all of that makes my heart so warm. Yeah. Here's the thing though, I'm not going to be talking that much about this episode in this video because it was a filler episode. Or a Monster of the Week episode, or whatever, like I said again, like whatever you want to call it, because it didn't really have much to do with the plot, but we did get a few minor things. So the first issue we're going to talk about is Dean. Like always, Dean seems to be doing pretty well right now regarding his situation with Michael. Obviously, we know at this point that Dean is the type of person to bottle up all of his emotions and not really give too much detail about what's going on and how he's doing. But he did seem generally alright in this episode, besides locking himself away in his room and avoiding everybody, which does make sense because, same. I don't think that Dean would react any other way to having a bunch of people in the bunker that he doesn't even know that well, even if he didn't get possessed by Michael. It's more of an added thing to Dean and is all of his problems because the people from the Apocalypse world have been fighting Michael longer than Sam and Dean have even known about him. I'm very glad that Sam finally said that Dean made the right choice by saying yes, because that definitely needed to be said. And I agree with him. It was the only choice that Dean had at the time to save his brother and save Jack. And in the long run, he did kill Lucifer, who has been a big problem way longer than Michael has even been around. Speaking of Lucifer, Nick is still missing in action, and I have no idea what's going to happen to him. I'm guessing that they'll probably figure out eventually where he is, if that's really that important, but I don't think it's going to pop up for another few episodes. I'm just hoping that we don't get a whole Nick-centric episode, just because as much as I love Mark Pellegrino, I feel like Nick is not that big of a character at the moment, and he doesn't really need as much screen time as everybody else does, because there's a lot more stuff going on! I think that we should quickly talk about Jack, though. Even though I did explain in last week's video, I think that Jack being sick is going to be a big part of this season, along with Cass trying to help him and be there for him and, you know, be a dad. I think it's safe to assume that Jack is sick because of the loss of his grace. Or his grace is regenerating and it's kind of like a side effect, I would assume. Some people have said that it might be because of Jack breaking the spell with the witch and the girl, but I highly doubt it. Just because Jack losing his grace is a big character shift from last season, and there has to be some sort of thing that he's going to have to deal with now anyway. And we don't know that much lore about Nephilims, so I feel like this is a good chance to do so. I hope Jack's not going to die. If he does die, I'm going to be very upset, because I love Jack. So now that we're done with that, I think it's time to go over my predictions for the next few episodes. So the next episode is Season 14, Episode 5, Nightmare Logic. The promo is pretty brief, but basically suggests that there's something targeting hunters specifically, and that thing is vampires for what we know at the moment. This is not going to be a Monster of the Week episode though. It should be pretty obvious at this point to you guys, or at least I'm hoping that it's pretty obvious that this has to do with Michael. If Michael was possessing Dean for so long, and then is also making these supercharged monsters, and it's safe to say that this is going to be the episode that Sam and Dean and the rest of the bunker crew figure out what Michael is doing and what he is planning, or at least find out somewhat about it. Because, you know, Dean was possessed by him for so long, he has access to his thoughts and, you know, other hunters and other stuff like that. So, you know, everyone's at danger now. Like I said before, Michael said that Sam finding him was part of his trap to the other vampire. If you don't remember, I will throw up the clip right now.
Rule number 1. You can't have a trap without bait.
Maybe Michael was testing out the waters with his experimental werewolves to see if they were strong enough to kill Sam, Mary, and Bobby, but of course they weren't, because it's very hard to kill a Winchester. And I don't think it's that hard to kill a Winchester. I think it's just difficult to make them stay dead, which doesn't happen. I think that there also might be an encounter with Michael coming up shortly with the boys. There's also a rumor about Dean's death, which I perpetuated. coming up if I am right. Dean's death, which was spilled by Jared, thank you very much, Jared, is coming up in either the next episode or the episode after, or somewhere along the lines. It's coming up soon, if it does actually happen. I also think that the bunker is going to end up being one of Michael's main targets in the long run. But back to Dean's death. If the whole thing about Jared slipping up about him dying is true, then I think that this is definitely going to be because of Michael and not because of the vampires and other monsters that are going to be killing the hunters. In the next episode, Maggie was chained up in the trailer for both the next episode and the original trailer for season 14. The description for the episode says basically that a hunt goes wrong and then Maggie's whereabouts are unknown and that Sam, Dean, Mary, and Bobby go looking for her. This also means that we are probably going to see how Jack and Cass are doing and what they're up to, considering that Cass can't really come on trips related to Michael because of him being an angel and Michael will sense him. This also means that in the long run, when Jack eventually does get his grace back, that he's not going to be able to help out with the hunts because obviously Jack will be detected by Michael, which is not a good thing. I think that they'll only pull Jack in if they absolutely have to, so yeah. Sam and Dean don't really have a way to kill him yet. That's a pretty big issue. We also have no idea whether or not Michael even has a vessel at the time being, considering it's pretty clear now that he left Dean. We know that the plan, if they do encounter Michael, is going to be pretty similar to the way that they had captured Lucifer to use his grace to open up the portal to the other world back in season 13. I think it may be pretty difficult to do what they did to Lucifer to Michael, considering Lucifer was already weakened at the time when they caught him, and then his drink was spiked, thanks to Gabriel.
I killed you. Surprise.
So I don't think it would be that easy for them to capture Michael. I'm guessing that Michael probably has Maggie locked away at the moment, either for bait or for information. Michael already knows where the bunker is located, but he doesn't know what Sam and Dean are planning to do about him and his plan, or if they even know about his plan yet. If it is bait, this could be our showdown for now. I have a hair tie around my fingers. I'm bored. At the time right now, Michael doesn't really know if Sam and Dean are planning to even stop him. Obviously, he probably thinks they are, you know, because Dean was possessed by him and all that other stuff, and it's possible that it's possible that Michael would think that Dean remembers everything that happened, even though I'm pretty sure angels should know how possession works. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Also, if Maggie dies, I'm gonna be kind of upset, because I kind of liked Maggie. I kind of do like Maggie, actually. She's pretty cool. If you remember, Michael already knows where the bunker is located because he's already been there. So he doesn't really need to do anything with that. If he wanted to kill Sam and Dean, he just would have to assemble a bunch of forces and attack. But I don't think that's gonna happen, considering that Sam and Dean have been through so much at this point. They could basically take down anything. I mean, they helped take down fucking God's sister, so an archangel should probably be a little bit easier than that. Regardless, I'm very excited for the next few episodes. We know from past episodes that whenever something is targeting hunters, that it's never good, and usually apocalypse related. So we might be in for apocalypse number like 27. If you remember back in season 4, there was the Rising of the Witnesses, I think. Yeah, Rising of the Witnesses was one of the seals that was to be broken for the apocalypse. So hunters dying is not really a good thing. Anyway, I did really enjoy this new episode. I'm very glad that it was a Halloween themed episode. I'm very glad that Dean said that they're going all out for Halloween next year, because Supernatural airs on Halloween next year if they don't skip over it. I really hope they don't, because I will be very pissed off, because I need Supernatural. I mean, I don't really like fillers that much, but this was a good episode, and I was... Yes! I'm just a little bit salty that we didn't have any Cass in this, and also that they left us last episode with Jack coughing up blood and didn't even like talk about it or mention it at all. I think that next episode Cass is gonna figure out about this and probably freak out, but you know, like father like son, you know, everyone likes to hide how they're doing because nobody in that Winchester family tree likes to talk about their feelings. Anyway, that's all I really have to say. I know this wasn't really that much about the new episode. It's a little bit more difficult to make videos about filler episodes just because they're not really related to the plot, and most people are like really balls deep into the plot. I am balls deep into the plot. I don't know about you guys, but yeah. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like Supernatural almost as much as I do, then I suggest you subscribe to my channel. I make weekly Supernatural videos. Besides when I'm posting videos of me dancing in a skeleton onesie online for the entire internet to see. Yep. I also do weekly live streams, usually on Saturdays, and I only talk about Supernatural, so go check those out if you're interested. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a nice day, and don't get possessed by any demons. Bye!